Hello everybody, I'm Ard, and welcome to another episode of Glacial Awakening. Today, we need to start by cleaning some of this mess up. And while I do need to move the stuff over there, roots and the Nature's Aura stuff, because that's just a big huge eyesore, that's not what we're going to do. Instead, we're going to solve the chest monster problem over here, hopefully. Well, probably not entirely, because getting materials, including like planks, is kind of a pain right now. And I was looking through all of the storage options that I have in this pack, and there's honestly not a whole lot, at least that's attainable right now. I can do chests, or I can do crates, or I can do drawers. And I think we're going to do drawers again. I was hoping to do something else, but drawers are really the best discrete option for at least being able to eyeball what you have. So I went and made the framing table over here, and I think I've got kind of what I want to do, which is chiseled rune stones, which create a nice textured effect on the sides and back. Clay for the faces because it's a nice neutral color, but still has a little bit of texture, but you should still be able to see everything just fine. And then the mysterious logs because I really like that purple with these grays. Now, that said, I still haven't figured out where I want to put these, nor do I have a bunch of these drawers made yet. I'm probably going to put them in that corner for now, but I don't know. Give me a minute to try to sort this out, huh? Alright, as always, nothing ever goes to plan, but I think I came up with something I actually really like. And it's because I realized I kind of wanted an underground storage room that looked out over into this canyon right here. So that's what I did. I dug a little tunnel and padded it out and made it look a little pretty. I'm not entirely happy with the cobblestone flooring, but I don't have the means to make a lot of stone right now cheaply, so I'm living with that. And I don't entirely know how I feel with the granite walls, but I feel like it gives it a bit more color than it would otherwise. I didn't want it just to be all gray. Down here, I'm actually using the hay bale boxes I found in those starter houses, the ones that aren't actually made of wheat and aren't actually food, but I think that actually makes it look more like a carpet down here, which actually adds a nice bit of color to the room. And down here, I have torches sitting under these yellow carpets that kind of pop out, but I feel like the relatively even spacing on it makes it look decent. So overall, I'm pretty happy. I still don't have room for a lot of crates down here. Maybe I'll pop out that back wall or pop out a row of these somewhere and punch a tunnel into another storage room to add space for bulk storage or things that are like randomly stored in the crates. And actually, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'll probably punch a hole like right through here and make a doorway. But that's a problem for another day because now we should work on actually progressing though. We can't always just be building. So last time we left off at the very beginning of Nature's Aura, having made the natural altar, and we could move on and continue on that stretch, but I feel like we should roll back real fast and get the grit vase and the gravity block done, because these are how you do some of your automation in Hearth Well, although I'm not an expert on how they all work. And the grit vase is a very weird beast, honestly. We'll get into how it works in a little bit. But to make it, we need some onyx and some scorched grit. Scorched grit comes from gravel and shards of the Morningstar, which we should have. And onyx is similar with cobblestone and shard of the soil of fire. In addition to that, we also need a tray, just made of mysterious planks. Alright, so the grit vase here is a weird beast, and I'm down in this tunnel to show you how it generally operates at a basic level for what its initial function is. So what you need to do is you take mysterious fertilizer, you can put up to 5 in it. This defines the area that it will remove blocks from. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will remove it from a 5x5x5 area block in order to spit out everything that's mining right here very slowly. We could put hoppers down and collect them. There's gravity blocks that we'll be making in a minute that can also gather them, etc, and it just keeps going until this happens. Now we could just let this go and finish, or what we're going to need to do eventually is just break it. And when it breaks, it drops these rods. These, well, the branches, they're not needed, but you see how the liveliness remaining has a number ticking down? That's important for what we actually want to use this for. And since that number does count down for what we're going to be using it for, we're going to want it in our base, and we're not going to want it breaking anything. And that's why it also had us make the tray. Because the tray, when set next to it, acts like a filter and tells it what the only things it's allowed to break. And you can set more than one tray around it. In this case, I'm going to set a block of yellow wool in here because I don't have anything made of yellow wool. And from there, we will start up the tree and then do our next bits. And do you remember how I said later in the game, a few episodes back, there's an easier way to make more ores? Well, this is it. This is how you make grafts, except it requires a few more pieces. Back here, it finally requires the amplifying tooth we've been getting, as well as an alternate version of the tray. It requires this grafting tray, which is made by the normal tray and some weathered azurite, which surprise, surprise, is just cobblestone around a shard. So between these two things, we can now start doing our grafting. I think I showed this way back, but the amplifying tube can do some interesting things because you can stack them up and use them to turn leaves into like water. Can also make lava from cobblestone, so we could do a cobble gen if we needed to, but I can't imagine why we would. But the most important one is this last one, which turns mysterious dust blocks, which is just 4 dust from a grass farm that we no longer have and I probably should build soon, into liquid souls. And to do this, we just need to put it under the amplifying tube. Then I've got these trapdoors here so that I can access them more readily once this finishes. The more tubes you have, the faster it goes. I've just got 2 of them, so I can do 2 buckets with that at a time. Once your blocks have been turned into liquid like this, you need to have everything ready to go for when you break the grit vase tree, because you do have a limited amount of time to complete this. So you want to get your liquid souls into a bucket, add fertilizer to the grit vase, break the grit vase, pick up those, put them down around the other vase, put the liquid souls in there, and put a rock core in. This very quickly completes. You pick up the cores by right-clicking them, and then before you run out of life in those, you do it as many times as you reasonably can. Once the branches are dying, you just go to your local furnace and just chuck them in as fuel because they serve no other purpose. Anyhow, once we have that, we can then core as normal. You set up a normal rock core, put the shard you want on it, and then toss as many grafts as you can fit on it in any configuration as long as it touches the core in a chain. And then just start the coring as normal. And when it finishes, they all transform at once, saving us a great many shards and rock cores. So the process of getting ores is now dramatically simplified, because I just made a whole 33 of them right there in one go. So that makes the ore problem more or less solved. We still have to process it all, but we can also do the Nature's Altar now. So that finishes out the grit vase, which gives us a second grit vase. I'm not sure why I need more than one. But now we move on to the gravity block, which is used for gathering materials. Although I'm not sure on its use case for using the grit vase to farm trees, although maybe you can leave the grit vase up. I'm not sure. But the gravity block just mostly requires a bunch of heavy ingots and a Azul machine case and a heavy block. Heavy block is a bunch more heavy ingots, but the Azul machine case requires making Azul ingots, which requires making an Azul block in the amplifying tube from a raw Azul block, which comes from mysterious dust, clay, and crystal blocks. So a bit complicated, but not overwhelmingly hard, especially now that we have the amplifying tube set up anyways. Did I say easy? That's a lie. I need to make a whole bunch of heavy ingots now, which that requires blaze powder, and that requires, melting all of this. It's not a pain, but it's going to be time consuming. I'll be back in a little while. Alright, and now the gravity block's made, and I left the iron ore up to demonstrate how it works. Because if we vein mine all this, it all gets pulled straight on top of the gravity block. Now, vein mining probably wasn't the most obvious example of this, because you really want something that breaks something into a whole bunch of different pieces. So breaking like a Nature's Aura gold leaf tree probably would have worked better, because all of the leaves would have gathered on top of that. But that gives you a general idea of what this is useful for, because you can do that and then you can put a hopper on top of it to draw them into, or something like, and to put them in a chest or some transport network of some sort. Don't know how useful this is going to be. These are all tools that I am honestly not all that familiar with using and don't have an immediate use case for, to be completely honest. I'm sure something will come up though. Alright, and while I was thinking about it, I added another farming area to do the mysterious grass because I was running low on the dust. And we're going to need a lot of it. So that's one more thing I accomplished at least today, right? Because while I feel like I didn't actually get a whole lot done today, I did make my new storage room and we did get the grit vase done. So now we can do better ore multiplication. So things should be a little bit easier going forward. And now next time maybe we can actually make some progress on Nature's Aura, right? For real? Maybe? Maybe? Or maybe I'll just clean up the clutter outside. Maybe I'll do both. I should do both. Anyhow, if you found this episode interesting and entertaining, please consider leaving a like or subscribing if you're new. As always, I'm Ard. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.